TryHardChimp. Thanks for agreeing to appear on this YouTube channel I'm trying to start. As you know, I've been in contact with you for several months now, and I'm very glad you've agreed to appear on this. You're probably going to end up being the first person featured on my YouTube channel. In other words, you're going to be the first episode I upload, aside from the pilot episode I sent you. One of the things I'm going to ask of you and future other guests when conducting this interview is to kind of try and keep your responses to the questions I'm about to ask you as concise and as short as possible. One of the things I learned from the pilot episode that I made was that 10 questions and 10 answers may not seem like a lot of time, but the minutes and seconds add up really quickly. And as you know from watching my pilot episode, it was about over half an hour. So try and keep your responses to these questions maybe to about a minute, 2 minutes at most. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and start proceeding with the line of questions. So my first question to you is, I went on your YouTube channel, your TryHardChimp channel, and I went back to look at see what some of your first videos were, and it looks like you first started off recording yourself playing video games. So I was just wondering what got you involved with doing that on YouTube. What got you motivated or inspired to, like, I'm going to record myself playing some video games and share with other people? What started that?
Hey Nick, thank you so much for inviting me onto your channel. It is great to be here. Well, when I first made my YouTube channel, I wanted to start off by doing something that required little to no technical skill. And at the time, I was playing a lot of video games myself and watching other people play video games such as PewDiePie, TryNinja, and the Syndicate Project. So to me, making gaming videos seemed like the best option. Because A, it didn't require much technical skill or much editing. B, because I was really into it. And C, it was really easy to make them because all you needed was something to play video games on and a program to record yourself playing the video game. So at the time, I felt like video game videos were within my capabilities and it was really easy to connect with my audience.
Alright. I also noticed that you have a few guitar tutorials uploaded on your YouTube channel. I was just wondering what got you started playing the guitar, and what made you decide to start giving YouTube tutorials for people out there that may be watching your channel.
Well, a couple of years ago, I was actually encouraged to play the piano. While I wasn't too interested in learning the piano, I decided to pick up a guitar instead and see where that would take me. Well, after learning the guitar for a couple of months, it turns out playing the guitar is actually a lot harder than it looks. But soon I came across a guy called Riptide who showed me that you can play almost any song with just the same 4 chords. And through his videos, he was able to lift my spirits and in a way encourage me to continue learning the guitar. And after learning a few songs on the guitar, I decided to make some tutorials of my own in hopes of doing the same for other people. It was also a great way to connect with other people around the world, and it also helped bring some new content onto my channel. And as you can see, that worked out pretty well, as my most viewed video is my first guitar tutorial.
Okay. Now, after those first few video game videos you uploaded, you actually did something really unique in that you made a sort of stop motion animation music video of a song, I'm assuming, that you like. That's kind of one of the reasons why I asked you to be a guest on my YouTube channel, is that I'm a big fan of stop motion animation, and it wasn't this song in particular that caught my eye, but we'll get to that later. I was just wondering, since this was the first video you did of this style, of this format, what kind of inspired that? What made you kind of like, because stop motion animation is a very time-consuming and tedious art form. Well, most art forms are time-consuming and tedious, but for anyone that just watches it and thinks it's moving objects around, it's a lot harder than it looks. I actually, when I was younger, I made stop motion animations using toys I had in my home video. So when I saw your stop motion animation music videos, it kind of reminded me of that, and I was just wondering what got you motivated or inspired to do something of that nature and upload it to YouTube.
Well, you are right, Nick. Stop motion is a very time-consuming and tedious task. Each of my stop motion projects can take from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, depending on how many pictures I'm planning on taking, to the number of drawings I'm making, and to how long the song is in general. Well, getting onto your question, my first stop motion was inspired by watching other people's work. So while I was on YouTube, I came across a couple of stop motion animation videos, and by watching those, it sort of inspired me to make my own, as stop motion is a very unique sort of art form that not a lot of people do. And to me, it felt like it was something that was within my capabilities, and it brought me something new to show to my audience.
I see. Alright, well, getting to the actual the stop motion music video that caught my eye about a year ago. You did a music video for Ryan Tedder's "I've Gotta Be Me," and at the time that I saw that music video, I was going through a really frustrating and stressful point in my life, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but suffice to say, when I came across it, it really lifted my spirits and kind of validated some of the doubts that I had going through in my mind at the time. Not just the song and its lyrics, but because that's of course Ryan Tedder's, all credit goes to him for making that song, but the way you interpreted that song, like you obviously had the idea or the imagination to make the music video that you did using those stop motion cutouts, and that really kind of like I said in my last question, that like it reminded me of my childhood, and then also kind of that aspect of reminding me of my childhood, but then also the song, encouraging someone to just be themselves. Like, that's one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to kind of start doing this YouTube project, where I basically encourage other people to focus on their strengths and share that kind of inspiration with others. So I've probably already thanked you, but I'll thank you again, and thank you very much for making that stop motion animation music video. What allowed you to go from starting that first stop motion animated music video up until to do this one? Because this one actually I think was a lot more well done than that first one. And so what brought that about?
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Nick, as the main purpose of my stop motion music videos is to inspire and to encourage other people. Well, with my first stop motion animated music video, it was just a matter of getting it done, getting it onto YouTube, and seeing what people would think about it. And then with my second one, I felt like I put a lot more thought, effort, and time into it. To be honest with you, I wasn't planning on making any more stop motion music videos until somebody encouraged me to do so. So because of them and because of their support, I was able to continue to make stop motions. And since I had people supporting me, I felt like I should do a better job on my second stop motion video. For my second stop motion video, I decided to pick a motivational and inspirational song. And then "I've Gotta Be Me" by Ryan Tedder sort of popped into my mind as I heard it a lot in Dr. Pepper commercials on TV. And after listening to that song over and over again, it sort of created an image in my mind. And in my second stop motion music video, I put a lot more time and effort into it, as I took more pictures, I drew more drawings, I added a background, I used lighting techniques, I used a tripod, and I used a better camera. And after that video, my stop motion music videos got a lot more support. So to me, that video was much, much more successful. And I was only able to accomplish this just because of the one person who encouraged me and who inspired me to make that stop motion music video. So without them, I don't think I would have made any more stop motions.
Alright, well, thank you again for for making that video. It really lifted my spirits up at a tough point in my life. As you already know from the amount of times I've contacted you over the last year or so, I asked you to. At one point, I asked you to make another stop-motion animated music video based on a particular song and artist that I thought would appreciate. Excuse me. That I thought would appreciate your interpretation of their work, and I was really pleasantly surprised to actually have you be so enthusiastic and willing to accept my offer, or not accept my offer, but to actually just, when I made that request, to actually do it. Like, most people in my life, whenever you ask them to do something that's not that convenient for them, they just kind of like what, they just kind of blow you off and like dismiss you, like, what? I don't got time to do that. But I was very surprised to actually have you respond in a positive way, like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And you know, obviously, it seems like you have fun making those music videos. So I'm glad I could encourage you to keep doing, or to make another one of those videos. So I guess my next question is why did you decide to make another stop motion animated music video based off of someone's mere request? Why were you so enthusiastic or positive about doing that?
Well, to me, if I can make one person's day, or make them laugh, or even just make them smile by watching one of my videos, then to me personally, that's worth making the video for. And then to hear someone request or ask for a video to be made, it really felt like I had an audience out there. And to hear a request for another stop motion music video, it really inspired me to make it, as I knew that video would make at least one person smile, which would ultimately make my day. I make YouTube videos because I want to connect with people around the world and to be part of a great community. And by hearing a request for someone to make a stop motion music video, I gladly did so, as I knew that would make someone's day.
Well, I definitely think you do have an audience out there. It might be a small audience at the moment, but hopefully this interview will give you a little bit more exposure and allow you to keep doing what you're doing and allow your audience to grow. With that being said, I'll go ahead and roll the actual stop motion video that you happened to make for me based on my mere request. So here it is.
Gotta take
there you have it. That was an example of TryHardChimp stop motion animation. With that being said, I'll go ahead and continue with my line of questioning and allow you to get a better idea of who TryHardChimp is. So, in your last response, you mentioned something about one of the reasons why you made this YouTube channel or started making videos on YouTube was to kind of put yourself out there and meet other interesting people in the YouTube community. I was just wondering if there was a type of specific person or type of people that you were interested in meeting on the YouTube community, because there's lots and lots of videos on YouTube, and one of the reasons I'm trying to start this channel is to kind of provide a biased filter for what I consider to be not important, but of good quality, something that I believe deserves more attention. So I'm wondering, when you say you're out there trying to meet other people in the YouTube community, do you have a type of people in mind, or is there a certain characteristics of type of people you're trying to meet? Because I know I have a certain idea in mind of the type of people I'm trying to reach out for. So I'm just wondering, what type of people are you trying to meet on YouTube?
Well, Nick, like how you said that there's a lot of different YouTube videos out there, there are also a lot of different YouTube personalities out there as well. Ideally, at the beginning, I was looking for other small YouTubers that were friendly and creative and wanted to get themselves out there. This is because it's really easy to connect with these kinds of people and to start a community with. And once you have a community, YouTube gets about 100 times better. Because every time you upload a video, you know that someone's going to be there to like your video and give you some positive feedback. And once I started to go down the path of being a YouTuber, I began to meet more of these kinds of people. And some of these people I collaborate with and am very good friends with. And it's always nice to know that you got some friends on YouTube.
Okay, fair enough. On a similar note, I was wondering if there's any type of people or artists or creators out there, not just on YouTube, but in the world in general, that you currently look up to, that you find inspiring. Do you have any type of role models at the moment? Is there anyone you currently look up to?
There are a lot of people that I look up to. I'm a huge soccer fan, so I tend to look up to players like David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Zinedine Zidane, because watching them play soccer kind of makes me want to play soccer. On YouTube, I look up to people like Domix, Riptard, Rapid Luigi, Just Awesome, and Amazing Phil. That's because most of these guys don't have any fancy equipment and just entertain people just by being themselves. And in music, I look up to bands like Blink-182 and Green Day because they started from the bottom in garages, and now they're up there playing concerts around the world.
Nice. Alright. Did you also have any specific ideas or projects that you're currently thinking of right now that you have aspirations of possibly making in the future? I don't mean anything in the short term expectation, like making future stop motion music videos, but I mean, are there any ideas or projects that you can see yourself doing in the future that maybe you're a little hesitant to start at the moment? If so, what are they, and what would you like to do, and how would you like to accomplish making those projects come to life?
Well, off the top of my head, I think I might have one long-term project that I'm thinking about doing sometime in the future. I'm considering making a stop-motion video for some inspirational slam poetry. Slam poetry on its own is a very powerful art form, and I feel like if I could add some stop-motion animation to it, I could take that inspirational level just a little bit higher. The problem is I have to find the right slam poetry. If not, then I'll probably have to write my own and record it on my own time. And for it to work, I need the words to be just right. And I also have to keep in mind how to make a story out of the poetry so I'll be able to present it in a stop-motion fashion. Once that's done, all I have to do then is to just draw the pictures and give it my sort of own unique style. And hopefully that project might have some impact on the world.
Gotcha. Well, now we've come to the last two questions of this interview, and they'll probably end up being the most consistent and standard questions I ask throughout my series. This first one being that since I've primarily been asking you a lot of questions throughout the last 15-20 minutes. I was just wondering if you had any questions for me. Did basically if you had the opportunity to ask me only one question at all, what would that question be? It can be anything. I'll do my best to answer as appropriately and as sincerely as I'm willing to allow myself to answer. But if you could only ask me one question, I was just wondering, what would you ask me?
Well, my one question for you would be, what do you think is the most valuable quality that a person can have?
I took some time thinking about this question, and I feel that one of the things that threw me off with that question was the term valuable. I don't believe there's necessarily a most valuable quality that someone can have, because value is generally based on something monetary or some sort of financial scale. And I don't like thinking of people's behavior or skills on a monetary basis. So I think what you were asking me was what's the most worthy quality that someone can have, and that's how I'm going to choose to answer that question. The most worthy quality I think any person can have in any situation, in any country, any area of life at any age is to just have the ability to be reasonable, just being reasonable, having the ability to reason. I mean, someone can be very loving, compassionate, and intelligent and peaceful, but if they're unreasonable, that can still go off in a bad direction. Like, say you're really pro peace and pro love and pro compassion, but if you're having a conversation with someone who isn't pro peace, pro love, and pro compassion for whatever reason, and you're trying to persuade them to your side, if you're unreasonable, like if you're not able to see their point of view, and vice versa, the person who's pro war or pro violence, and they're trying to persuade the other person to their beliefs, if you're not reasonable, if both are not reasonable, it doesn't go anywhere. And this can apply to relationships too. Like maybe two people really love each other and they have strong feelings for each other. There's no sense of animosity or hate towards the other. But if they're both unreasonable, like in regards to house chores or something, there's going to be something off. And I believe being reasonable or having the ability to reason is the best quality to have to find common ground with others and appreciate and emphasize the other positive, worthy qualities that someone may have. So yeah, to me that's the most worthy quality I think someone can have is being reasonable, having the ability to reason. So now we've come to the last question in this interview, and it's primarily one of the reasons why I wanted to start working on this project. And that's this. If you had the opportunity to talk to a younger version of yourself, or talk to anyone out there in the world right now that is either currently your age or younger, what words of wisdom would you give them? What life advice would you give them? Basically, what tips would you give them to either help them along their journey in life or dissuade them from making any poor choices? Basically, what would you say to someone out there in the world that is similar to you to help them in life? What would you say to them?
I would say don't give up. Pursue your dreams. No, wait. Pursue your goals. And no matter what other people say, just keep on going. Because somebody once told me that dreams aren't worth anything, but goals are worth something. Because I've heard so many people tell me, oh, I want to design a web app. Oh, I want to design a game. Oh, I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to do this. I want to do that. But they never do it. And the next day, they're still complaining. They're still up there dreaming. You're not going to finish that 5-mile marathon until you take that first step. And once you get started, your journey might be like a roller coaster. You might have high points, you might have low points, but once you are finished, it will all be worth it. The worst thing you can do is give up halfway. Because if you give up halfway, then why didn't you give up at the beginning? Why don't you give up right when you're near the end? Because every single drop of sweat, every single tear that you've ever shed will be for nothing if you give up. I've seen so many people try to set up a goal, try to go somewhere, try to do something, go halfway, and then give up. Once you give up, your dream, your goal will die. What's the point to life if you have no dreams to chase, if you have no goals to achieve? So once you have a dream, have a goal, take your first step and keep on going. Because every step you take in that marathon brings you one step closer to the finish line. So as of right now, that's pretty much the only advice I can give. Don't stop, keep on going. Turn those dreams into goals and turn those goals into reality. And no matter what other people say, stick with it and be true to yourself. Because the worst thing you can do is give up.
Definitely. And with that, that concludes this interview and this episode. Thank you again for agreeing to take part and help me out with this project I'm trying to start. And thank you again for editing that stop motion video I made a request of. It definitely picked up my spirits, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm starting this project, is to kind of encourage and inspire other people to keep doing those kind of positive things that may help uplift others. So to end off, I'd like to encourage you to not only keep making and editing those stop motion videos, but just to keep following that creative path that you're on right now, and hopefully turn it into something more polished, something more enhanced that you can offer to others, and hopefully that will inspire others to follow a similar path, or to do something that maybe they were afraid of trying to do to begin with. So keep on doing what you're doing, and I wish you the very best in those future endeavors, as well as whatever else you may pursue in life. Thanks again for everything, and I'll stay in touch. Take care.